Assalamu alaikum and good day everyone. Hope you all are safe at your places and enjoy your e-learning as well. So today, my dear students, I came up with very interesting topic for you, and you have to identify the topic, which topic we are going to read today. So are you able to see the things, the objects that are placed on the table? Okay. So yes, now you have to think about it. What you can do if you want to change the shape and size of these objects, what you will do? Yes, if we want to change the shape and size of these objects, then what we will do, we will apply some force on it. So, the topic that we are going to read today is force. Yes, so we have seen that forces are pushes and pulls. If we will define force in simple terms, then we can say that force is a push or pull. And push or pull is also a force. And how can we define it? Push is a force that moves objects away from something. For example, if we will talk about the examples, then we can see the shopping cart in the shopping mall. When we are having some shopping cart, then we are used to push it and then kick a football. That is also an example of push force. And the telephone buttons, when we will press it, then we can see that push force is applied. Moving towards the pull force. Pull force is also the force that move objects closer to each other, in which we will pull something. For example, when we are going to open the door, a door hinge, we will pull it and open the door. Then putting on our socks, when we will put on the socks, this is an example of pull force. And the third one is that tying your laces. When you tie your laces, this is also a pulling effect. Pulling force is applied over there. So this is the simple terms that is force. Like force is a push or pull. Now moving ahead, the examples, like how can we use these objects in pushing and pulling. So for example, if we can take example of the scissor, you can see we can push it and pull it as well on the same time. So the example, it can come in the example for both, in which push and pull, both forces are applied. In the same way, you can see this board marker, this is also has push and pull force. In the same way, this punch hole machine, it's also an example of push and pull. For example, now I'm pushing it and then pull it. And then this spray bottle, is also an example of pushing force. We can push it. So these are few examples for push and pull. Types of forces. Now we are going to discuss about the types of forces. So here we have elastic force, gravitational force, frictional force, and magnetic force. All these types of forces are very much important for us. First of all, we are going to discuss about the elastic force. As we can see, the elastic force is exerted when a spring is compressed and stretched. For example, this is a spring. We can see that it can compress and stretch. This spring can compress and stretch. So this is an example for elastic force. Then moving ahead, the gravitational force, you can tell me that, for example, I am throwing this object and it's fallen down, but it's fallen down onto the table, and it's not moving here and there in the air. So what's the reason behind it? Can you think about it? Yes, the reason behind is the gravity, because we know that Earth has gravitational force. Gravitational force means the force that attracts everything towards the center of the Earth. So this is gravitational force. and gravitational force is discovered by a scientist, and his name is, can you tell me? Can you think about it? Alright, so you have to tell me in the comment section that who discovered the gravitational force. Now moving towards the frictional force. Yes, frictional force is also very much important for us. Like friction is used to stop moving objects, and here is one example for you have to tell that if there is a rain, and after that you know that the roads are wet, and there are more chances for a car or for a bicycle to slip, and if a person who is walking on the muddy area, he can also slip. So what's the reason behind it? Is there more friction or less friction? Can you tell? Yes, the chances for slipping is more because of the less friction. So friction helps us to walk on the road or move on the floor, and it also helps us to write on the paper as well, as if there is no friction between the fingers and the pencil, then we are not able to write. And in the last but not the least, magnetic force, and we can see that magnetic force is exerted by the magnets, and it attracts the things towards it. And what kind of materials are attracted towards magnet? Do you know? Yes, the materials that are made up of metals are attracted or pulled by the magnets towards it. So the magnets have pushing and pulling force as well. Like we can say magnetic force is the pushing and pulling force of magnets, because we know that the magnets have two poles on it, north pole and the south pole. So we know very well same type of poles repel each other, so they will push each other, and the opposite poles will attract each other and they will pull it. So this is all about the forces, like what is a force and what are the types of forces, and the definitions as well, along with the examples. Now for more better understanding, I am going to show you a short video clip that is very interesting and helpful for you to understand all these types of forces.